Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. बोली हरि नाम संकीर्तन योगे की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल। भगवद गीता chapter 9 and verse number 23. So Bhagavad Gita chapter 9 verse 24, most confidential knowledge. So verse number 23, 9:23. ये अपि अन्य देवता भक्ता, ये अपि अन्य देवता भक्ता, यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः, यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः, ते अपि मामेव कौन्तेय, ते अपि मामेय कौन्तेय, यजन्ति अविधिपूर्वकम्, यजन्ति अविधिपूर्वकम्। ये अपि अन्य देवता भक्ता, ये अपि अन्य देवता भक्ता, यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विता, यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विता, ते अपि मामेव कौन्तेय, ते यजन्ति अविधिपूर्वकम्। ये अपि अन्य देवता भक्ता,
ये अपि अन्य देवता भक्ता,
यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विता,
यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विता,
ते अपि मामेव कौन्तेय,
ते अपि मामेव कौन्तेय,
यजन्ति अविधिपूर्वकम्।
यजन्ते अविधिपूर्वकम्।
Prabhu, you can open the door. Yeah, thank you. Anyone want to recite?
ये अपि अन्य देवता भक्ता,
ये अपि अन्य देवता भक्त्या,
यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विता,
यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विता,
ते अपि मामेव कौन्तेय,
ते अपि मामेव कौन्तेय,
यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम्।
यजन्ति अविधिपूर्वकम्। 9:23. ये अपि अन्य देवता भक्त्या, यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विता, ते अपि मामेव कौन्तेय, यजन्ति अविधिपूर्वकम्। Anyone want to recite? So, word by word translation. Ye, those who, api, also, anya, for other, devata, gods, bhakta, devotees, yajante, worship, shraddha, anvitah, with faith, they, api, also, Mam, me, Eva, only, Kaunteya, O son of Kunti, Yajanti, they worship, Avidhi Purvakam, in a wrong way. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. 923 Bhagavad Gita. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. One more time. Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way. Purport. Persons who are engaged in the worship of demigods are not very intelligent, although such worship is offered to me indirectly. Krishna says, for example, when a man pours water on the leaves and branches of a tree without pouring water on the root, he does so without sufficient knowledge or without observing regulative principles. Similarly, the process of rendering service to different parts of the body is to supply food to the stomach. The demigods are, so to speak, different officers and directors in the government of the Supreme Lord. One has to follow the law made by the government, not by the officers or directors. Similarly, everyone is to offer his worship to the Supreme Lord only. That will automatically satisfy the different officers and directors of the Lord. The officers and directors are engaged as representatives of the government and of and to offer some bribes to the officers and directors is illegal. Such this is stated here as avidhi purvakam. In other words, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of the demigods. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chachurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutpadakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavansya Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam tam sajivam sadvaitam savadutam parijana sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitansya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So I am welcoming all of you on behalf of ISKCON Connecticut for Sunday Feast lecture and also Sunday Feast. And today's this Bhagavad Gita is dedicated to the Ramayana Das Prabhu, Nelson Prabhu, who left his body today, this afternoon. So please pray for him. And very auspicious day today is the Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra too. So if time permits, we will speak little bit about Jagannath Rath Yatra. If time permits, otherwise we will do the continue reading Bhagavad Gita. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते श्रीलरूपस्वामिनिति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So one more time translation. Those who are devotees of the other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in wrong way. So Lord Krishna, he says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 10, Chaturashloki verse, that is the fourth verse, saying the whole Bhagavad Gita. He says, Aham Sarvasya Prabho. He is the source of everything. Everything means material and spiritual. He is the source, and everything animate from him, and the wise who perfectly knows, and he engages in Krishna's worship and devoted with full heart. And next he says that their thought of the pure devotee dwell into him only, in Krishna, and their life is fully dedicated to the Lord Krishna's service. Means he is the devotee, that person. And they derive great satisfaction and also bliss. Tushtanti cha ramanti cha. And always enlightening to each other by conversing about the Lord. Krishna Katha discussion. So these things are very important when they are enlightening, getting satisfaction. So there is a, this is the called devotional service. Means devotional service means service in love. So there is a reciprocations because there is love. Someone is loving to that person, so there will be reciprocation. So Krishna's reciprocation, if devotees are doing, then there is a reciprocation from the person. Those who don't think Krishna is a person, then there will not be any reciprocation because they do worship all those things and whatever required according to their mind wise. But there will not be any reciprocation. Reciprocation has to be there is a person. So Krishna, he is also a person and he reciprocates. So then Krishna says that to those who constantly devoted to my service, means to me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Krishna is eternal, Shaswat, Nitya. So his abode is also eternal, and there is no miseries. Means four kind of miseries are there: birth, death, old age, and disease. So the person who is worshipping to Lord Krishna, they will be free from these miseries: birth, death, old age, and disease. After quitting this body, eternally they will go to live there in eternal abode. That abode is also eternal. That's why he's saying, by which they come to me, and to show them special mercy, I dwell in their heart. Krishna is living in the heart in Paramatma form. So he destroyed the ignorance by shining the lamp of the knowledge. So by knowledge, we can worship to the Krishna. Krishna is the goal, and Krishna is the knowledge, and Krishna is the subject of the knowledge. But here, Bhaj Shabd has come from Bhagavan, worship of the Lord Krishna. Krishna is the Bhagavan. Krishna is the Swayam Bhagavan. But those who are devotee of the other demigods, Krishna is saying they do so in the wrong way. Actually, they are worshipping him only, but indirectly they are worshipping. So it means indirectly or in wrongly worshipping means they are at the wrong path. And also in chapter 5, verse number 29, he's saying, Bhoktaram yagya tapsam sarva loka maheshwaram suhirdam sarva bhutanam gyatpa mam shantim rachati. So the person in full consciousness of me means about Krishna and knowing me as the ultimate benefactory of all sacrifices and austerity, and the person of the supreme person of supreme of the planet of all demigods, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. He is the Lord of the all the Ishvara, and then he is the planet of the all demigods. He is the Lord, Supreme Lord, Maheshwara, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, and attain peace from the panj of material world, material miseries. So bhavatap means material miseries. So person will be free from the this kind of those who are knowing the actual thing. Krishna, he is the ultimate benefactory. If someone is worshipping to other demigods, they are doing all those things. That result is coming from Krishna only. And Srila Prabhupada has given very wonderfully in the purport. And then in the 647, that is the Dhyana Yoga chapter, he's saying meditation on the Lord. So he's saying, Yogi namapi sarvesham madgat chetana atmana Shraddhavan bhajante yo mam swami yuktatamo matah. Means those who are engaged in yoga with the Lord Krishna, Vishnu, Aram, any Vishnu Tattva, then that person is in the yoga. Otherwise, they are not yoga. So he's saying, and all yogis, oh, the one with great faith who always abides me, thinking of me within himself and render transcendental loving service. Rendering transcendental loving service means performing the bhakti. So there is a reciprocation. Person has to do some service. If there is a love, then there will be service. By service, someone can love to that person. Otherwise, just someone is saying, I love you, and not giving a single lollipop, then where is the love? So that love is in the vein. So it means there is something to perform. And Krishna is saying that person has to render transcendental loving service to me. And he is the most ultimately united with me in yoga. So that is the yoga, meditating upon Krishna, how to perform loving devotional service to him. And that is and is the highest of all. It means topmost yogi. Krishna is saying that is my opinion. And here in the verse, those who are devoted to the other gods and worshipping them with faith, actually they are worshipping Krishna, but they do so in the wrong way. And Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport how they are doing wrong way, like spreading the water on the leaves instead of pouring water in the root. If someone is trying to wash the leaf, and then how long that will be happy? There is no happiness. If water is pouring on the root, then all the stems, leaves, twigs, everything will be happy. And pouring, giving, if like I will try to smash the food in my hand and all the body, so body will be happy? No. By supplying the food to the stomach, then whole body will be nourishing. So if someone is serving to the Krishna, then everybody will be satisfied, including all living entities, and that demigods also, means gods, devatas, they will be also satisfied. Otherwise, there is no chance of the getting away from this repeated cycle of birth and death. So in this chapter, ninth, most confidential knowledge, Lord Krishna is saying he is the goal, sustainer, and master, and witness, and abode, refuge. He is the everything. Saranagat means someone who has to whom to surrender. Surrender to the person who can give the full protection. Otherwise, there is no meaning of the surrender. Because who is willing to surrender to someone who is the weaker or weak? But the person who is the strongest, then if someone is surrendering, he will get the full protection from. So surrendering to the Lord, and he's saying, and the most dear friend, he is within us, within our heart. But we have to start building our relationship with the Lord. Then only there will be reciprocation. Otherwise, he is witness. Like there are two birds on a same tree, one bird is eating and eating, eating, and not seeing to the other bird. So other bird is watching, and when this bird stops eating, 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 and finally from this twigs fruit, and that twigs fruit from there, and then finally turns towards this bird, then this bird start reciprocation. The same way, Paramatma, Krishna within us, he will start reciprocation from us. So he is the most dear friend. So he is the creator and inhalator also, and he is the basis of everything, as discussed in the Chaturashloki verse, I am the source of everything. So here also is saying in 18th number that he is basis of everything and resting place and the eternal seeds. So he is transcendental, eternal also. And he describes in verse number 20, those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly, purified of sinful reactions. They take birth on the pious heavenly planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. So Krishna is saying, purified of sinful reactions. So how they will get purifications? When someone is trying to perform the yagya, sacrifices for the sense gratification, that time there is a mantra chanted, purification mantra, and then also sankalpa for what that person is doing. So there it is mentioned that at this particular time, at this era, and this side of river Gange, and this particular date, that person is performing this kind of sacrifice or performing this demigod's worship, and it has to be fulfilled by the mercy of the whom? Lord Vishnu, not by the mercy of the demigods, by the mercy of the Lord Vishnu. And then also there is a purification mantra, Om Apavitra Pavitro Va, Om Apavitra Pavitro Va Sarva Vasthangato Pivasmarit. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Pujari room. I'm getting disturbance little bit. So Sarvavasthangatu Vasmarit Pundari Kacham Sahvayabhyantara Suchi. Either it is pure or impure, Pavitro, Apavitro. That place is pure or impure, it doesn't matter. Someone is just remembering the Kamalanayan, Pundari Kacha means Lord Vishnu. Pundari Kacha means Kamalanayan, whose eyes, lotus eyes. So just by remembering, that person will be purified from inside and outside. And that place and everything will be. So by that, slowly, they will get the purification. That is the meaning here. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on me, are his transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. So Krishna, he gives the protection. He's saying what they lack, they will provide. He will provide. And then what they don't, what they have, that he will preserve it. So that is the reciprocation from the Krishna, not from other demigods. So those and who are devotee of the gods, they are worshipping them with the full faith, but indirectly worshipping to Krishna, because every result is coming from the Krishna. And he's saying, I am the only enjoyer and master of all sacrifices, as discussed in the 429, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. So he is saying here, I am the enjoyer and master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my pure, true, transcendental nature falls down. So the person who is performing the demigods worship, they will go to the heavenly planet, and heavenly planet is located in this material world only. So after some times, that planet will be inhalated. So it means demigods also, they will be vanquished with the time. If time, according to time, someone is born, they will grow, and then they will produce their byproduct, they will maintain their body, and then slowly body will start deteriorating, and finally death comes. This is the six changes in the body. The same thing is happens from upper to lower planet, Chaudah Bhuvan. It is every 14 planetary system. All things somewhere it is less, somewhere more, but death, birth is there everywhere. So there is no use, because we are trapped in the repeated cycle of birth and death. So what to do? To take the shelter of the eternal. Instead of taking shelter in the Maya, false things, we have to take the shelter into the eternal. Krishna is eternal, his name, form, quality, everything is eternal. And there is no difference between him, his form, his name, his pastime. Everything is related to him, and that's why it is still transcendental and eternal. So those who perform, they do perform the bhakti joyfully, everlasting. Susukham kartum arhasi avyayam. It never lasts, it everlasting. And the person who is performing joyfully performs. So it means finally, where they will go? They will go to the where? Yeah, to the his abode, eternal place. So he is saying how to start that. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, water, I will accept it. and then after that he says how to perform. That I will commit later. So he's saying I am not impartial to anyone, because he's saying I am friend and ultimate benefactory. Friend, what he gives the ultimate benefactory. But he's saying I envy no one, nor I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but those render service unto me in devotion. A friend is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So it depends upon the relationship, how someone has built. He's not envy to anyone. He's equal to everyone, but those who are performing devotional service, so he reciprocate from that person. But those who are getting away from him, let him go. He is not interfering. And those he want to become envious to him, so he becomes like envy. That person can see him as an envy. So that is the reciprocation from me. The person who he want to see which way, he reciprocate that way. Meaning is that way. But he give special favors to his devotee, because devotee take the full refuge unto him. If someone has surrendered, so that surrender means he has surrendered everything. Surrendering means to someone means surrendering to our ego, false ego. It is not possible. The person who is simple, humble, meek and humble, that person will be able to easily surrender to the Krishna. Otherwise, it is very difficult. We do surrender to our false ego. We do carry everywhere, chanting 60 round, no problem, but we cannot give anyone, someone has done wrong thing with me, then we are always thinking about that person. Oh, this person has given this kind of trouble to me, so rebellious to that person. So this is the Kali Yuga. So that's why he's saying that I do reciprocate according to their own way. In chapter 7, Lord Krishna, he talks in chapter 2 also, he talks about the little bit Traigunya, the person who is directly attached to the flowery world of the Veda. They do try to worship to the demigods, and then they get the quickly result, and but they are also, their result is not eternal. In 723, Lord Krishna is saying, men of small intelligence worship of demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. I discussed that they are within this material world. They have to go also to change their body. So it means they are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of demigods, but my devotee ultimately reach my supreme planet. They never come back. They are free from the four kind of problem miseries: material misery, birth, death, old age, and disease. Srila Prabhupada, he has given wonderful commentary. Not only are the demigods parts and parts of the Supreme Lord, but ordinary living entities are also. Lord Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita chapter 15, living entities are my part and parcel, but in this material world, they are trying to please their senses, and they are working very hard, like a cats and dogs, hogs and dogs, like that, day and night. So that's what. But Krishna is eternal, living entity is also eternal. But as soon as living entities come in this contact of the Prakriti, means nature, then forget his eternal identities, and then we do feel we are the part, of these material things, and we do false identifies ourselves as a body, not the soul. We are not the body, we are not the body, we are the soul, but we have forgotten our eternal relationship. So that's why Srila Prabhupada is saying even demigods also, their amsa and living entities also. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that Brahmanas are the head of the Supreme Lord, the Kshatriyas are his arm, the Vaishyas are his vest, the Sudras are his legs, and all serves different, different functions. Regardless of the situation, if one knows that both the demigods and he himself are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, his knowledge is perfect. But if he does not understand this, he achieves different planets where the demigods resides. This is not the same destination as the devotee reaches. Devotee reaches where Vaikuntha Loka or Goloka Vrindavan. In Vaikuntha Loka, there are different planets are there, but all those planets are eternal. So they will go. Their time is eternal. Everything eternal, and they never come back once they will reach there, because they will know the understanding. Oh, we have gone so much problems in this material world. Why to go there? Until and unless Lord desires. So the results achieved by the demigods, benedictions are perishable, because within this material world, the planets, the demigods, and their worshippers are all perishable. So their planets in this material world, so the demigods, their worshipper, all are perishable. Therefore, it is clearly stated in this verse that all results achieved by worshipping demigods are perishable, and therefore such worship is performed by less intelligent living entities, because the pure devotee engaged in Krishna consciousness in devotional service of the Supreme Lord achieve eternal blissful existence that is full of knowledge. It means Satchita Anand. His achievement and those of the common worshipper of the demigods are different, because their result is non-permanent, temporary, and then here it is eternal, not only permanent, eternal. The Supreme Lord is unlimited, His favor is unlimited, His mercy is unlimited. Therefore, the mercy of the Supreme Lord upon His pure devotees are unlimited. So I was talking about the part and parcel. We are the part and parcel of the Lord. Lord is eternal. We are also eternal. Lord is Sachidanand. We are also Sachidanand. But we have forgotten our relationship with the Lord. That's why we do falsely thinks that we are the body after coming in contact of this material world, and we are going from one planet to different planet, one body to different bodies. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 13 verse number 22 says this things. Why it happens? Because what is the duty of the part and parcel? To serve to the whole, serve to the supreme. But Krishna has given us free will, because there is a relationship, loving exchange is there. So in the rough love, there is no force or anything is required. Loving means serving using our own will. Otherwise, that person will be like a puppets. Puppet dance, then puppet will dance, sting accordingly the way you want it to do. Lord don't want to do that. To become the puppet, he want to have our real, true, loving relationship. That's why he has given us free will. We have to utilize our free will to serve to the God and not like a forcefully. Forcefully, there is no love. It will just act like a machine. So there is no reciprocation from the machine. If turning on and then turning off the light, what is it? There is no. Just so it will be like a machine only. But Krishna is Rasaras. So he want to have the rasa, mellow, and there are innumerable number of the living entities. So he want Krishna wants a variety. So he want the loving relationship in such a variety way, so that we can enjoy in different ways. But we have forgotten our eternal relationship. So Krishna, he comes time to time. He says there are three reasons he has given. One reason why he comes here? To protect his devotees. Okay. And other reason? Establish dharma. And then third reason? Yes. To give the pleasure to his devotee. To give the major reason is to give the pleasure to his devotee. So three reasons. And Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter number 25, pure devotional service, that title is there. So there is a devotee of the Lord. What they does, they have they are tolerant, titichnavah karunika suhirda sarva dehi nam. So they are tolerant, titichnava, karunika means they are most compassionate, and they are suhirda sarva dehi nam means friend to the every living entities, not to humans or anything, to every living entity, sarva dehi nam. And then do that, they live their lives according to the shastra, according to the scriptures. They do live their lives. uh, so they don't have any enemy, ajata satravah, and they are peaceful, santa. And then sadhu bhusana, their characteristic are transcendental characteristic. And why their characteristics are transcendental? Because they are constantly engaging in hearing and chanting. So that verse is called Madasrayah Katha Mrishtha Srinavanti Kathayanti Cha Tapanti Vibhittapas Netas Dat Chetas Tah, means their thought is fully engaged unto the Supreme Personality of the Lord, and they have taken full shelter of the Lord. And they are discussing what discussing? About the pastime of the Lord. So, Nam, Dham, and then all the glories of the Lord, Leelas. So they are discussing, and that's why they are free from all kind of material miseries. That is the characteristic. So what they will do, sadhu, when they will go, they will give Krishna, because they are carrying Krishna in their heart. So we have to take the shelter of the sadhu, our bona fide spiritual master. So that's why Lord Kapil Dev is saying to his mother, "Oh my mother, oh virtuous lady," in 24, 3:25, 19 to 27 is called the Sadhu Sangastaka. So in 24 he's saying, these are the quality of the great devotee who are free from all attachment. You must seek attachment to the such holy men, for this counteracts the pernicious effect of material attachment. So there is a counter attachment. So attachment to the material things will lead to the repeated birth cycle, that cycle, and the attachment to the lotus feet of the sadhu, it will make us free from there. It start from the intelligent person knows there are two attachment, two kind of material and spiritual. Spiritual attachment means attachment to the sadhu. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, uh, in 4.34, those who has seen the truth go and inquire submissively and ask humbly and give the proper means service and inquire humbly. So inquiry has to humble, inquiry has to be not to the this kind of that kind of, it has to be for the Krishna, absolute truth. And then it start from the little faith. Sadhu, he sees the little faith is there for the Krishna. He gives the fan such a way that it grows. Then it start the as soon as someone has the little faith, and then sadhu sangha, bhajan kriya, chanting, and then anartha nivritti, unwanted desire, it start going by the purification, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and then comes to the Nishtha, Ruchi, Ashakti, Bhav, and then the highest love of the God. So I will stop here. Any question or comment? Hare Krishna. Any? No question? No comment? Yes, bro.
Who you discussed during
Can you speak up louder?
you discussed during your class like initially we are in the God abode and because of like our enviousness towards the God we come back to this world. So I want to know like why that envious is there in the God abode. Like there's everything is spiritual over there.
Okay, so he is saying that I did not discuss that part, but understanding is that it means we were in the Krishna's abode, but somehow we became the envious, Icha and Dvesh,
Yeah.
and then we came here in this material world. So there are two theory. One is Jiva was always here, and then some Jiva they fall down here. Those who did not seen here in this material world, then they will not know what is happening. But those who has seen in this material world, then they will go back home, then they will say, oh, I went to this kind of different living entities, hogs, dogs, stool, worm, and all those things, ghastly stuff. They will never think coming about that. But those hasn't seen, then there is a chance of the enviousness. So there may be the then Lord has given free will, then they will come back here, and after that they will try to go home, back to Godhead. That's why he comes here, then he sends his messengers, and then sadhu are always here, scriptures are here, Bhagavad Gita we are discussing here. So for that purpose he has given us. But icha and dvesh, these two things
Are in the
are
spiritual
there.
abode also.
No, there is no in spiritual. It may feels like, but there is no. Otherwise, there is no chance. Vaikuntha means there is no any kind of kuntha, no anxiety. When anxiety comes, then we becomes envious. Otherwise, no. It may feels like there is no demon, but there is a also feeling is the Aghasura is coming. So everybody take Krishna, but there is no Aghasura. So that kind of feeling will be there. but no investness. Radharani gives Krishna everyone. Everybody is trying to serve to the Krishna through the Radharani. So we have to take shelter of the Inkal Yuga. There is only one thing we can go back home, back to Godhead by the mercy of the Srila Prabhupada and our Acharya. We have to start chanting the holy name of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So just by chanting the holy name of the Lord, this is Yuga Dharma. There are four different yugas. In Satyuga, Dhyana Yoga by meditating on the Lord Vishnu's, and then in Treta Yuga by fire sacrifice, and then in Dwapar Yuga elaborated temple worship. But in Kali Yuga means it is the yuga of the anxiety you are talking about there, and also um, enviousness. We all are envious. This person has the iPhone, that person has the this is that one, he has the 3 bedroom apartment, I have only one. So all those anxieties there. Our body is not pure, mind is not pure, even nothing is pure. So how we can go and serve to the Lord? So just by chanting the holy name of the Lord, that is the basis of the Lord in Kali Yuga. And the strength of the chanting the holy name of the Lord, we can do the temple worship also. So that is the way. So chanting the Hare Nam eva kevalam, kalau na asti eva, na asti eva gatir anyatha. There is no other way, no other way. Only chanting the holy name of the Lord. Deliver us, go back home, back to Godhead. So I will stop here. I think Arti time. So श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. जय प्रभुपाद